And we are live. Welcome, everyone, to the space. It is most excellent to see you all. Does size matter? Yes. Yes, it does. Why does size matter? Because if the thing that you are wanting to create in your space, if you don't care about it, then it doesn't matter. When you care about it, it matters. So whether it be a cup of coffee, a parking space, a blue jay, it doesn't matter. You think that might be small, but a house, a car, a relationship, and a career, those are big things. It only matters once you care about it. So when we put the judgment on it and we say, well, maybe that's too big for me to create. I'll start smaller. Hmm, that's the problem. When we judge the situation, we diminish it. When you say, well, that's too small, that's insignificant, or, oh, that doesn't matter. This one is so big, I don't know. It is irrelevant, the size, if you don't care. If a parking spot is what you say you're creating, doesn't matter where you go, you always get the best parking spots. How is that small? It is you who cares about such things that gives it its validity. So size will always matter because you care about the thing. And another reason why size and the judgment of size is a problem, it restricts you. Hmm. Oh, the judgment of it. And then you say, well, you know what? Maybe that's too big for me to manifest. Maybe that's too big for me to create. Oh, I don't know enough yet. Oh, I'm not good enough yet. You see, the judgment doesn't just remain at the thing you want to create, it now splashes onto you. And you find all of the reasons that disqualify you from creating that thing because you don't know enough. Oh, you're not good enough. You see what we do to ourselves? When in actuality, so long as it is something that you want to create, the size is irrelevant because you want to create it. That's what makes the size irrelevant. But you see, when we judge it, well, then it's going to matter. It's going to matter when we judge it. And not in a good way either. Because, like I said, you will find all the reasons to justify the why not of a thing. Oh, but look at everybody else. Look what they're doing. Oh, so we spend our time comparing ourselves now, do we? Oh, indeed. Nothing will shroud your light faster than comparison. So it does not matter what the other person is doing. What are you doing? Does that thing matter to you? If that thing matters, then create it. Period. Whether it's big or small. It's only big or small when you judge it. When you look in the window and you say, oh, but look at theirs. Theirs is so much more worthy than mine. Oh. Then we create problems for ourselves. But what if they laugh at me? Are they putting in the work that you do? Well, you don't know. All you know is what? All you know is what you say you want to create. And that's where you keep your focus. That's where you keep your attention. That's what you're doing. Your attention is telling you what you are creating. That saying that energy flows where attention goes. But that's the law of vibration and the law of polarity together. without you being polarized or by giving something your attention. How do you know what you're doing? You have to commit. You have to commit to that polarity to say, this is where I'm pointed. That's why size is irrelevant. Then you don't judge. So long as you're polarized in the direction of the thing you say you are creating, it is irrelevant if it's a cup of coffee, if it's a parking space, if it's just kind people wherever you go. That's what it is. You see, we keep looking for the evidence of what we're creating, but we don't see the evidence because we're judging the evidence. Well, that's not big enough, so it must not have happened. Or that's not big enough, so it must not be relevant. Of course. That's what we do. We look at these things and we say to ourselves, out of judgment, this is why judgment is so highly frowned upon. Because it blocks you, it hinders you from creating what it is you say you want to create. What may be big to you may be small to somebody else. What may be small to them is huge to you. So you see, the reason why you don't compare is because everybody's perspective is different. When I look through the lens of my life, I will never see what you see. And the other way, if you try and look through the lens of my life, you won't see the way I see, because you cannot. You are your own awareness. This is why the comparison is also a danger. So does size matter? But you tell me. If you sit there and you say, well, this is important. Why is it important? Because you want to create it. That's the only thing that makes it important. It's not important because I must have it. No, it's important because you're going to put your attention there. So wherever you put your attention has to be of importance, because where you put your attention is what you will experience. So that's why it has to be important. Because then now you won't put your attention on things that, ooh, well, that's not conducive to being in the direction I say I want to be polarized in. And you'll stop doing things like that. You'll stop wasting your energy and your efforts. See how good it is to not judge, right? This is the beauty of what we've been given. Take your time to know what it is you want to create and set out to do it. Whether you say to yourself, oh, well, I don't know if I really want to give this my time. Why would you contradict yourself? Why would you do that to yourself? Because now you delay yourself. You put a stick in your own spokes. And that's what we do. Sometimes we are unaware that we're doing it. Sometimes we're unaware that we are doing it. But you see, make it your mission to be aware. Why? Because when you're aware, now you're living by way of law consciously. So that you will catch yourself if you hear yourself saying, well, I really gotta have that thing or my life won't change. See what you've done? You've judged it. And you've, as they tell you in the manifestation world, you've put it on a pedestal. Whereas what is required is that the thing you said you wanted to create? Well, then go about and create it. Because when you put your time your thoughts, your energy, your effort in that polarized direction of, yeah, I'm creating that. Now you're not attached to it because you already know it is yours. So you're not clinging to it for your very life because you know that's not where your life comes from. Right? That's what happens when we judge it and we make it so big, we overinflate it. Then it's overwhelming. And we get upset and we want to throw in the towel and we want to give up. But in actuality, all that is required is simply recognizing what it is you want to create. And that's what gives it its validity. That's why, good, bad, or indifferent, where you put your attention is what you will experience. Because you're giving it credence. You're giving it its validity. When you look at it, you're giving it its meaning. When you infuse life into it, that is what you're doing. So when you make that conscious choice to say, oh, this is what I'm creating. Oh, I'm creating this house. Oh, I'm creating this car. Now it's just something you're creating. It has not become this snowball that's going to overtake you because you're not saying, oh, I must. If I do not, my life will be over. You've judged the situation. If you find yourself in that situation, take a step back for a moment and sit and breathe. In through the nose, out through the nose. For a couple of times, just breathe. And then you remind yourself, oh, well, that looks like fear. That looks like worry. So that's where I'm at right now, and that's what I'm doing. Well, what would I prefer? Where would I prefer to be? And what do I prefer to be doing? And you begin to list those things. And that's where you point yourself over and over and over again. Sure, fear is natural because we're human. Oh, we have worries. We are human. But those things are easily overridden when you invoke your memory of the law. When you invoke your memory of the law. You walk by somebody's garden and you see dandelions all about the place. You know what was planted. I'm sure they may not have planted those things deliberately, but there they are. You know what seed was planted. So if you are sure about that, then you are sure of the law. You are sure of the law. And because you are sure of the law, then you need not worry. Oh no, am I going to? This might not be possible, but I've done it this way my whole life. That's that's where we're looking at. Put it into perspective. But when we judge it, that's when size will matter. Yes. And from that judgment, now we're groping in the dark, aren't we? Because it blinds the eye. I trust that makes sense to you this morning. I trust that it does. So that now you recognize how things become valid. They become valid because you say they are. They have no life other than what you give it. And you give things life by way of your attention. Oh, look, that's what I'm creating. And it begins to breathe. It begins to move itself faster the longer you look at it. The longer you entertain it. Whether it is good, bad, or indifferent, that's what's happening. ponder that for a moment as we welcome everyone into the space, shall we? Hey, Indy. Hey, Jeff. It's good to see you guys this lovely morning. I can't believe it's Tuesday already. It's Tuesday. Oh, indeed, it is. Fanbase, hello. Flo Smiles, Casey. Hey, Fat Boy, Miss McQueen, Matthias, Yolanda, Zola. I see you all. Welcome to the space. You're new, Fat Boy, because I don't think I've said your name before. I would have remembered. Let's see who's here on Facebook. Well, Indy's here on Twitter, so she's not on Facebook. YouTube, who's here? Marcia, I see you, honey. David, hello. Empress Ella. Sherelle, hello. A Not is here. Queen Red Pill. Shea Butter is here. I see you. Cyber, the better man. I see you. And for the ones who've not made themselves known in the chat, I know you're here. I see you. And for the replay gang, well, you know how it is. The party's always going on, isn't it? David says last night on Lance was amazing. Listen, I had a great time. We always have a great time with Lance, don't we? We sure do. So does size matter? That depends on you. What have you chosen to do? What have you chosen to create? Have you decided to create it, or have you just decided to judge it? When you say, this is what I am creating, well, you've just given birth to something, given life to something. You used the law of gender. You generated gender, G-E-N, generate. You have generated this thought and said, I have an idea. This is what I'm going to create. And you get a clear image, and then bam, it is projected outward. And that projection goes right into the womb of creation, or your subconscious mind. And it begins to take shape. And it comes together. And then you are given an experience, because that's what you gave birth to. The experience comes right back, which will cause you to do something else. You see, that's what we're forever doing. Generating an idea and projecting it outward, which is masculine. To generate and project outward. You come up with the idea and bam, as soon as you come up with it, it's projected. And the more attention you give to it, clearly, that's what sustains it. But if you remove your attention, it'll wither there. That is what we're doing all day, every day. And we do so with boldness, you know. We do so with boldness. You notice how you watch any show, any movie, and they say to you, but in the wrong hands. So, what matters there? The person who's using it. The person who is using the thing. The person who is using the law. This is why if you are nice or whatever, kind, and something incredible happens to you, you continue your kindness and your generosity. But if you're mean-spirited and spiteful, and you acquire something, you'll still be mean and spiteful. So it doesn't matter the thing that you use, who is using it. This is why it's important to know who you are. Knowing who you are. Not judging who you are, but knowing who you are. If you look through your life and you say, I could stand to be a little bit more kind and forgiving. I really could. I'm so ornery. I'm so persnickety. I could stand to be better. Well, then, you've just stated where you are and what you are doing. This is the law of polarity. And then you have clearly stated what it is you would prefer to be doing and where you want to be. And so now you get up and you begin to do those new things. You choose your thoughts better so that your words that come out of your mouth are better, and then your actions are better. And look, you are kind, you're more thoughtful, less ornery and persnickety. Oh, yes, because that's what you said you wanted to create in your life. So you start doing it now. You can't do it tomorrow. Tomorrow will be now anyway. It's only ever now. So does size matter? What is that thing today you say you want to create? What is it? You whisper it to yourself. See, when we judge it, right? And we say, oh, it's too big. Oh, maybe it's not big enough. Right? When we say things like that, it's now you're saying, well, it's really not important. And then this desperation comes in. Now look at what you've done. You must know that when you generate the idea, you generate the idea. This is what I'm doing. The projection goes out. And so long as you are polarized in that direction, which means when you talk to yourself, you're not like, oh God, is it here yet? I'm like such a loser. I always fail at these things. Is that what you're saying to yourself? Or are you saying, well, the same thing that sustains the sun in the morning and the moon at night is the same thing that sustains my projection. So I'm in good hands. I'm in the hands of the law. So I am A-OK. That's what you say to yourself. And that will tell you you are polarized in the direction of what you say you are creating. That's what it is. No judgment is required. No judgment is required. And we can be so harsh with ourselves. Today, your exercise is this. How many times can you pat yourself on the back today and go, ah, look at you. Good job. Look at how you redirected your thoughts. Good for you. And throw yourself some confetti. That's your exercise today. See how frequently that happens in your world. Because Lord knows, we say the strangest things to ourselves. Oh my God, how come we can't get that right? I've been trying forever and nothing is changing. So today, as you go through your day, how many times can you pat yourself on the back because you kept yourself polarized in the direction you say you want to be in? You celebrated your steps forward. You celebrated your accomplishments. That's what you're doing. Not this, that's too small to celebrate. Well, according to scripture, if you're faithful with little, you'll be faithful with much. Why? Because you're faithful. It is irrelevant whether it is little or much. See, we get caught up in that. Oh, a little bit or much. No, what matters is who are you? Are you faithful? Well, then you'll be faithful with little. Are you faithful? Then you'll be faithful with much. It has nothing to do with the size of what it is. It's you. You are the one. You are the one. You are the one. It's you. It comes down to you. You give it its validity when you give it your attention. Good, bad, or indifferent. Your attention. If you judge the attention. What if I manifest a date, but the money I need to cover it hasn't manifested yet. The money and the date go together. Cyber, this is a beautiful question. This is a beautiful question. What if? So if the date as in the date to do something, the money is also there. The manifestation is incomplete. It's not done yet. It just depends on which one is in the vicinity first. Cause and effect go together. They really, really do. So if you say the date's here but not the money, well, then that is not your manifestation. Both of those things must be there together for it to be complete. Both of those things must be there at the same time for it to be complete. Does that make sense? Cyber asks, should we manifest in order of importance or should it be a free for all? For instance, should I manifest weight loss before I focus on manifesting that fancy pair of jeans I can't yet fit into? Look at the first part of your question. Should we manifest in order of importance? That judgment right there, importance. Who is it important to? Who is it important to? Who deems it being important? You do. So when you say, you know what? What do I want to manifest? What do I want to create? And you decide, mm, I don't know what I want to create. Remember, things always make themselves known. Always. And that's where you begin. When you say to yourself, why do I keep doing this? Why does this always happen to me? Why can't I just seem to make it work? That's where you begin because it's the one who's showing you itself. You don't have to go looking for it. So when you are creating something based upon what has shown itself. It happens naturally. It really, truly does. You will come upon a situation and you will look at that situation. And if it is something that, moves you, you create there on the spot. You just do. When you're sitting at home on your couch, you're not thinking about a parking spot because that's not what you're doing. But when you are driving to go park somewhere, well, then naturally to manifest the parking spot is where you are because you are clearly looking at it because it is right in front of your face. You create as you go because it is what you come upon that says to you, oh, snap. Here's the effect I would like. Then bam, the cause comes. You manifest or create from where you are at. So it's not a matter of what is more important. If you are going through your closet and you're putting on jeans and you say, oh, kind of thick in here. Well, you know what? Let's be snatched. That's the manifestation. And from there and that moment on, you get the desire to move your body, whether it would be dancing, going to the gym, jogging, walking, it doesn't matter. You get a desire to move your body. And so that's where you say that's what you're going to create fitness, health in your body. And so that's what you're creating right there and then. But if you are falling asleep, you're not thinking about, oh, let me manifest or let me create a new car. When you are creating something, it happens naturally. So the thing that you want to create presents itself in the order of what it is you come upon. That's how you'll know. If you get to the riverbank and you say, I have to get to the other side, well, then what are you going to create? A bridge. But if you're walking through the forest and you say, oh, all these things are in my way, you're going to create either a scythe or a machete. Why? To cut a clear path. As you traverse forwards, the thing that you are going to create will make itself known to you based upon what you are experiencing. Every cause has its effect. So when you come upon an effect and you say, ooh, undesirable, or yes, let's keep this, more of this, then another cause happens because you're looking at the effect. And the effect will cause you to do something. That is what manifesting, quote unquote, in order of importance. Cyber, does that make sense? Let me know. Let me get a sip of water, y'all. You got me sweating. I get so worked up sometimes, but not in a bad way. Because I get excited because the questions are just beautiful, you know? And I get truly excited about them. I really do. Yeah. So let me know if that makes sense. Because when we are creating something, we're not just creating randomly. Every cause has an effect, and every effect has its cause. That's how we create by way of law. If you're looking for a desired effect, then the cause will show up to bring about that effect at that time. But you see, sometimes we are either way in the past or way in the future in our thoughts. We are reminiscing and we're talking about, man, this should have been mine. It should have been better. I want this. I want it. I want that. It's always going to be now, right? It's always going to be now. Just like if you're thirsty, what's most important? Something to quench the thirst. The effect is thirst, and the cause has to be water to quench the thirst. Double A. Listen, the reason why that question is so beautiful is because it shows us what we're doing. It shows us why we ignore sometimes where we're at. Everything is happening naturally and it is happening now. So when you reminisce, because this is how we draw from those memories, and they are either going to be effects or they're going to be causes. And we draw from those memories. And that's what we create because we're drawing from those things. So if you're going to draw from those things, you have to do it consciously, not on autopilot. Because when you do it on autopilot, right? Now you're creating effects based upon the past. And this is why things keep going on into perpetuity for us sometimes. We keep doing the same thing over and over and over again because we're living in the past. Unconsciously, we're living there. Or sometimes we're living in the quote unquote future. Future from SpongeBob. That's what Squidward says. We tend to want to do that, whereas right now, the thing you are experiencing now, the effect you are experiencing now will bring about another cause. And that cause It causes you to bring about another effect. So left foot is cause, right foot is effect. You're walking through life. This is why you have to do it now as opposed to by way of memory. You have to be selective and aware of the memory that you choose. This is why we get caught up in, I don't know if I can do that. That seems so big. Like, where are you going to put that? Like, we begin to question those things because we're looking backwards. We're looking backward, right? And when you look back and you judge it, well, the thing that you want to create now is influenced by that other thing, that memory. It's influenced by it. So if you're walking through your day with the memory, Cyber, you but you're so on point. If you're walking through the day and you feel crummy, you felt crummy yesterday, you feel crummy today. Every cause and effect is based upon what it is you are dealing with right now. Now. So, feeling crummy yesterday and you're dragging it over into today, you're going to keep getting the same cause and the same effect. You're going to keep getting the same cause and the same effect, same outcome every time. Because what's driving you, that particular thing is driving you. And you're pulling it in from yesterday. Whereas if we are aware to say, okay, today is today. What am I doing today? You get up and you say, okay, here's the focus today. So that here and now, what's first on your list? Well, you have things that you're doing. What's first on your list? Me, I'm working on the book. Yes. So now, because my focus is working on the book, that cause I'm choosing to work on the book will bring about an effect. And that effect will bring about a cause. And it goes on and on throughout the day until I put my pencil down. Cause and effect has to go through there. And what will usually interrupt me is when I hear, Mom, what's for lunch? So because that's the question now, the effect is make lunch. This is why being in the now is so important. Because causes happen now, effects happen now. It's when we go backwards into our memories, which is the design. That's why you've got to do it consciously so that you can predict what you're going to experience. Well, when you know the cause, you can predict the effect, can you not? Does this make sense? I trust that it does. If not, you know you can slide into my DMs and let me know. You can message me and we'll break it down some more. Penguin style, into its smallest pieces so it can be easily grasped. So that now you begin to understand. If you spend your time in the habit that you've created for yourself, well, the more you do it, the better you get at it. That is the design. So the more you do that thing, the more causes you generate, the more effects. Cause and effects, back and forth every single time. So at some point in the now moment, you're going to have to disrupt the pattern, the habit that you have so generously created for yourself. You have to disrupt it. So if you're doing something now that you don't like, The law of polarity. Where are you now and what are you doing? Where do you want to be and what do you want to be doing? The moment you polarize yourself and you point yourself in the direction of what you say you want to create, you've now disrupted your old habit, thereby breaking that chain of causation. You do the same thing, you get the same result. So you have to disrupt what you are doing in order to change it. You have to disrupt your thought process. "Ugh, I don't want to do that anymore. So what do you want to do instead? I want to do this. And you start doing it. But that's so hard. I don't know how to change. We change by recognizing where we are at right now. And as soon as you do that, you have broken the chain of causation. You said, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. And you start doing this cause, and you will bring about a new effect. But when we stay in a place, when we remain complacent because we're exhausted from fighting so much to change, that's what wears us out. The fight. And truthfully, it is a mental battle. So, what must you do? You decide right there when you are looking at it face to face. You have a dragon to slay. Well, then clearly you need a sword, or an arrow, or a spear. But you need some kind of weapon. And the weapon here now is your thoughts. But sometimes we get caught up and we think that we think anxiety and depression are cool and fancy things. When in actuality, they're just habitual ways of doing something. It's a habit. Every time this cause happened, it created that effect. And so what do? The effect creates another cause, and it creates another effect. And you're in that loop. You're in the loop of it. And the more you complain, the loop becomes faster and stronger, thereby becoming burdensome and overwhelming you. But if you say, whoa, wait a minute, I am tired of this. It's like you pull up the handbrake and you turn 180 degrees. This is the direction I want to face in. Well, that new direction requires new actions. You see, what we do is, I know I'm probably going to step on some toes, and it's okay. You don't have to stay, but I'm still going to say it. If the problem is, I totally panic and freak out, then I have to do something. That's the problem. So, what is the solution? Well, here's the problem again. You know what? I totally panic and I freak out when this thing happens. So, the solution is clearly define the thing and then choose how you want to behave because you don't want to freak out and panic. So, what do you want to do? You want to be calm and level headed, which means you're going to have to stop and look at the situation. Why? Every cause has an effect. If the idea of making a decision causes you to freak out, you have to examine that. Why does it cause you to freak out? Because I don't want to be wrong. What if I fail? What if what if I get laughed at? Oh, so the fear of being judged is the problem. Not that you're scared of making a decision. You're afraid of being judged. But what do? Every time. We don't look at the problem to find the solution. We look at the problem and we medicate the problem. You haven't solved anything. You have to identify the cause. Because when you change the cause, you change the outcome. If anxiety is the outcome all the time, what is the solution? Calm is the solution. So now you find a way, Luvosio, you find a way of talking yourself into calm. Because you've always behaved the same way, you have to get the same result. Because you've behaved the same way, you have to get the same result. You can't behave this way and get another result, cause and effect. So, no, you're not stuck in a loop of anxiety and depression. You're not. You have to examine it. You cannot be afraid to examine it, or you will remain the same. It is the constant fighting against that thing. Shadow boxing is going to exhaust you. So stop fighting the thing and look at it. What is it saying to you? When you hear what it is saying, well, I start hyperventilating. I need a bag. Mm. And I'm so panicked, I'm freaking out. Is that what you want? The minute you decide that you want to change, you've solved the problem. You have turned from it and said, this is the direction I want to go in. Well, then you have to know a new direction requires new actions. So you have to change your behavior. It's conditioning. A cause happened and you reacted, the effect. A cause happened and you did that. And because it's emotionally charged, when it happens again, you respond the same way. It happens again, you respond the same way. What is a habit? A habit is something, a thought, word, or action that you do the same way every time. Habit. So if you keep reacting to the same stimulus in the same way, then you can predict the outcome every time. So in order now to change it, you must do a new thing. Cyber. I know this all too well. The workload tends to overwhelm me sometimes. Rather than buckling down and chipping away at it, I kind of shut down mentally and procrastinate, ironically making the load bigger. Or that's what I've done in the past, I should say. This is what Cyber says. I know all too well about that, Cyber. I know. You see, and if you look at it, the problem isn't the task. The problem is how the task makes you feel. You're like, ugh. See, when we judge it, we put a size on it. Ugh, this is like so big. Like, how am I ever gonna get through this? I gotta get through this. I gotta get through this. David Bettenfield. Anyway, I think that's who it is. You get through it by doing one step at a time. One step at a time. You fold one piece of laundry at a time. You pick up one piece of paper at a time. This is what you do. That's how you disrupt the cycle, by changing its pattern, its rhythm. You set a new rhythm. Oh, sure, Angela, that makes it sound so easy. Everybody would be doing it. But we can do it. When you understand the law of rhythm, a rhythm is a pattern that repeats itself. Night and day, high tide, low tide, menstrual cycle. It just repeats itself. So, in order for us, you know there's a rhythm above you and there's a rhythm below you. That means you have rhythm also because you are in the middle. So, if you do not like a current rhythm, you have to disrupt it by creating a new rhythm. That's what you do. This is how you overcome things like anxiety, depression, and so on. This is how we overcome things like low self-esteem. It is a pattern. But you see, we want to say, well, low self-esteem doesn't really matter as much as this one does. And we judge it. If you were the one dealing with low self-esteem and low confidence, well, you're damn right it matters to you because you want it to change. So you don't judge it. You look at it and you say, okay, what about low self-esteem? That's a huge umbrella. See how big that is? Oh, it can be overwhelming. I don't know where to start. Of course, you know where to start because it's the one that's going to be in your face the most. I don't know how to talk to people. Oh, that's where you are now? I'm so shy. I don't know how to talk to people. That's where you are, and that's what you're doing. Where do you want to be? I want to be more confident, and I just want to talk to people. Oh, so what do you need to do? When you encounter someone, you make eye contact and you smile. Hey, and you keep walking. And as you pat yourself on the back, you're like, I talked to somebody. Oh my God, I talked to somebody. And you'll encounter somebody else. And what do? Smile and say, hey. And then you do a little jig in your mind and you say, oh my God, I just talked to two people. And you will encounter somebody else. And you'll smile and say, hey. Oh my God, I talked to three people. That's what you'll do. That's what you'll do because you said, this is the direction I want to go in. And that's where it begins. Now you begin to feel more confident about yourself. Why? Because you know you can talk to people. How do you know? You just did it 3 times. And as you go through the day, chances are you'll do it more. So now you might still feel a little shy. But the more you keep smiling and saying, hey, chances are somebody's going to say, what you want? Because you know how some people are. But it doesn't matter because you're doing what you said. You said, well, I'm shy. I want to talk to more people. And so you practice doing it right now. How you doing? And if that's too many words, again, you smile and you say, hey, done. Or you nod your head. Simple. But if you look at it and say, I can't do that. I'm so scared. It's too big. I just can't. You have to start with one little shaky step. Like a little person now finding their feet. You know, the baby for the first time. They're like, oh my God, I have feet. I can teeter totter. What? And they start to take one step. That they get up and they one foot in front of the next and they start practicing walking. Period. And the more they practice, the better they get. And then shoot, they start running and we can't keep up with them. The same applies to you and I. So it does not matter if you cannot sit there and say, this is too much. I've done it this way my whole life. Yes, you have a habit. You have a pattern. And that habit must always prove itself, doesn't it? Of course it does. So if your habit is, well, there's nobody nice, everybody's a jerk, well, then they have to be. They're following law. because you can't be made a liar of. You must always confirm who you say you are. Why? Because that is the law of correspondence. As within, so without. As above, so below. So if you're going to change your mind and your opinion of something and your behavior, then you have to be. And now here's the beautiful part. The beautiful part is this. When you change your behavior, when you change the cause, you can predict the effect. So when you say, you know what, I'm much more bold and more confident, and my self esteem is coming up. Yeah, I like that. Well, then that means I'm going to start to encounter more instances that I can practice my kindness and my smile. And that means the people you encounter will be kind and they'll smile. Yes, I'm sure there's going to be somebody in the mix to flip you the bird. But you know what? That's not you. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. They flip the bird because they're feeling persnickety inside. It has nothing to do with you. Carry on. Carry on. Doesn't really matter. You understand what I'm saying to you today? You have what it takes. Oh, you sure do have what it takes. How do I know you have what it takes? Well, you see, because we all have the capacity to think. Some of us use ours more than others. Some days I'm like, humanity, what are we doing? But I am comforted by the thought that every man awakens in their own time. Might not be today, and I'm all right with that. But everybody awakens in their own time. That way I'm not fighting to force somebody to change, because I cannot. I cannot impose my will on another. So today, make the decision. Are you displeased or are you happy where you are at? Only you know that. And depending on what way you answer that, an action is required. It is the cause to bring about the new effect. New cause, new effect. Same cause, same effect. No way around it. It is law. So if you go through life saying, oh, I can't do that, that's not possible. Well, then how can you ever achieve anything when you are the one telling it and commanding life to be impossible? How dare you, Angela? How dare you tell me I'm commanding life to be impossible when you don't know my life? I'm not judging you. I'm simply bringing to your attention the habit that you have. And in order to create a new effect, you've got to do a new cause. And a new cause happens when you understand that when you have a clear image, that's what makes it possible. Really? Yes. The artist who draws, the image is already in their mind. So they can recreate it on the cake. They can recreate it on the handbag. They can recreate it anywhere because it is already in their mind. So it already exists. So all things are possible. Yeah, but what if I fail? Uh, what does success mean to you? If you say success is, I got up and I learned how to do something new and I'm practicing it every day, then at the end of every day, you have successfully accomplished what you set out to do. But if you look at the world and compare, well, this is success, according to the rest of the world. Are you the rest of the world? Or are you you? You are you. So what is success for me may not be success for you. You have to determine what success is. If you do not determine what success is for you, then how will you know if you've been successful or not? You have not set out a parameter. You have not given yourself something to recreate, thereby making it impossible to be successful. If you get up today and you say, listen, this is my task, and you finish that, you better pat yourself on the back and say, hey, I was successful. What else do I want to be successful with? Okay, well, I want to do this. And you do it. And you were successful. And you want to sit here and say, I don't know how to be successful because society says success is a house on the hill, 2 birds and a dog, and 3.4 kids. And you struggle your whole life to get that. And you fall short every time. It is not your idea of success, it is someone else's. You have to be successful at being you. Not me, you. Every morning that I show up here, every morning that I show up here, I am successful because I show up. And there's the success. And I watch this audience grow. I watch it. And some would say, but shouldn't it be bigger? I'm doing the same thing every day. I get up and I share the law every day. Cause and effect. I do my best to tag it appropriately, so the algorithm works. The algorithm is on. Whether I choose to use it or not is irrelevant, but it is always on. Sounds like the law, doesn't it? You think the algorithm is copying the law? But of course. Everything follows law. Everything, including the algorithm. Including the algorithm. So am I successful? Uh-huh. I sure am. I sure am. I see people who've been doing this less time than I have, and they have a huge following. But I cannot compare myself. I cannot compare myself. Because we're both doing the same thing. We're both persistent. And persistence is what pays off. It's a long game. You understand? So if I base my success on, I don't know who these popular YouTube, Mr. Beast, if I say, oh, I gotta be like Mr. Beast, well then, I'm not like Mr. Beast. So I can't compare myself. So today, what are you doing? Are you comparing yourself to somebody else? Because then that's why we judge and we say, this is too big or this is too small. That's what we're doing. Somebody's opinion of you cannot determine your success or your failure. That is on you. So if you say this thing, I can accomplish it, well, then you have accomplished it. You've already determined in your mind. Cyber the angelic army. Hey, Angel Spills, I see you. I trust it makes sense to you today. I trust that y'all are as fired up as I am because I am sweating. I'm sweating because it's hot. But I trust that now you know the only thing, if you go into this with an attitude that says, I'm not like them. Well, I'm not like Dr. Joe Dispenza, I'll tell you that. I'm not like Dr. Bruce Lipton either. But I am Dr. Angela. I paid for that. I studied hard. I sure did. I am me. You are you. So you've got to come correct as you, regardless of who you see around you. David, you're so sweet. David says, they're nothing like you. Well, no, that's because they're them. Cyber says, I'm wondering if putting the hashtags in the title before the stream starts would help you. Oh, I know you do it after. Okay, you see? You see? Thank you for that suggestion, Cyber. I will take you up on it. Of course I will. Oh, Lord, now. Y'all gonna have to, y'all, listen, they're gonna have to make the doorways wider for me. Cyber's about here saying, I've listened to all of them speak. You're the best in the world at this, no doubt. Mm-hmm. Angela's gonna need extra wide doors. No, listen, I just get up and do what I love. This is why I tell you on a daily basis. You have to do you. Do you, boo boo, do you. Eh? You have to do it. Oh, but I'm so small in the world. Nobody knows who I am. How can I make a change? How can I make anything happen? Oh. You make things happen because every cause has an effect, and every effect is cause, and it just keeps going and it ripples outward. So you have no idea how far reaching your actions go. Oh, yikes. Mm-hmm. That's how you can make a change in the world because you have no idea how far reaching it goes. Get up and do it. It's not a matter of I'm important or I'm not important or I'm too small or I'm too this. That's not what it is. Everything starts as a seed. Look at the acorn. A little tiny acorn. And then what does it become? An oak tree. You think the baobab tree started off that size? No. It started off as a seed. We all started as seeds, didn't we? Now look where we're at. That is what should drive you. Not what you think somebody's going to think of you. David, he seconds that. Man, thank you. I'll say thank you. But you know I'm going to say you're crazy. But I will say thank you, though. Listen, I just have a good time. Do what it is you're good at. Because now you're authentically you. Can't be authentically George. Where's the Sonia? But that's what I wanted to tell you today. Size only matters when you say it does. You're the one who gives it the importance. Because that's what we do, isn't it? We judge it and we say, what are you going to do with that? Or, what are you going to do with that? It's just a matter of the tooling, isn't it? But at the end of the day, you have to have the confidence with what you have, who you are. That's it. What else is there to do? So examine these things that crop up into your mind. When they say things like, child, you ain't nobody. Where are you going to go? That's, listen, we hear many things in our minds, don't we? Oh, we hear many things. This is why you have to get to know the sound of your own voice so that when you hear something else, you know who's talking. I'm walking. Yes, indeed, and I'm talking. Yeah, you have to know who's talking to you. So you have to know yourself first. Because when you know that you are talking, when you hear something contrary, you're like, you shut it down because it's not you. And sometimes that voice can be so convincing, can it? It can almost seem like you. Oh, are you sure you can do this? Look at how long they've been trying. And if they haven't made it, do you think you can? Oh, you must know the sound of your own voice. You must know the sound of your own heartbeat. Why is that necessary? Well, if you don't know you, if you don't know you, well, then anybody can come along and tell you who you should be. And that's never where one is supposed to be. We are sovereign. But I digress. As you know, today is Tuesday. Tonight we will hit the ball, y'all. We're gonna hit the crystal ball at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube and Fanbase and Facebook. We're gonna hit the bowl, the crystal bowl, because it does something to you. You know, last week I had the image, but I forgot to mention it. You know, when you go and you get your ring cleaned at the jeweler, they put it in this solution and then they agitate this solution so they make it vibrate. So when they put the ring in there and they're literally shaking it in that water because it's vibrating, right? It cleans the ring. Yeah, vibration. So when you are in the presence of a vibration, because everything moves, it will vibrate in such a way that things that shouldn't be there anymore fall off. And as they rise in the dust, or rise in the wind as dust, sorry, you'll see what they are. And you'll say, oh, look, there goes that insecurity. See ya. Oh, there goes that one. Oh, good riddance to you. Oh, there, that one is gone. And they really truly just rise as dust in the wind, in the vibration. That's why we hit the ball. It makes a lot of work easier. Relinquishing things. You don't have to fight. You just shake it up a little bit. Shake it up, baby. Shake it up, baby. You just got to shake it up a little bit and allow it to leave you. Everything is designed for us to thrive and to prosper. Everything. Absolutely everything. Because that law that governs us all, mentalism, the all is mind, the universe is a mental creation. Correspondence, as within, so without, as above, so below. Vibration, everything vibrates. Polarity, between two poles, a swing, to and fro, always moving from where you are to where you want to be. And that movement of to and fro begins to create a rhythm, an ebb and a flow. Oh, it's predictable, isn't it? Yes, that rhythm is very predictable. And from that predictable rhythm, you begin to recognize cause. Every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. And then from there, well, then you begin to recognize gender. The thing, the thought that you come up with and you project it outward is masculine. Now, where does it go? It is received by the womb of creation. Feminine. The subconscious mind is feminine. It simply receives and then it gives you something back. It gives you your offspring that you generated. Masculine, feminine, not to be confused with male and female. Because we need male and female to procreate, but we need the masculine and the feminine to create. If you use the law of correspondence, you begin to recognize as above, so below. You create with the mind. You procreate with the body. But does the body not have a mind? Indeed, it does. So we create as well as procreate, is what we do on a daily basis, day in and day out. And these laws govern all creation. They are inescapable. So you may as well get to know them, learn how to use them. learn how to use them. Yes? Well, Sherelle, listen, that's what came to me last time and I forgot to share it. So thank you. And so she liked the analogy of the bowl and the way it vibrates. Things leave you as dust in the wind. Hmm. Yes. Anywho, that's it. That's all the gravy there is, y'all. That's all the gravy there is. So Twitter, remember, tonight, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to hit the bowl. If you want to send me an email, depending on where you are, if you're on Fanbase and Twitter, well, the link is in the bio. The link tree is in the bio. There's an envelope. You can send me an email there through Linktree, or you can follow me on any of my social media platforms through that same Linktree. If you want to send a donation, you are encouraged to do so if you are moved to do so. If you'd like to join a YouTube membership, they start at 99 cents a month. That is, there's always options. If you want to come for coaching, you can. If you want to join law school, you can. We're doing it now. We're just starting chapter 3 of the Kybalion. Right? That's what we're doing. So there's always a way to reach out. Always a way to reach out if you feel so inclined. I always encourage it because I love to communicate with you. You're good people. I love that. I do. I enjoy your company so much, as you can clearly tell, because one of us is like a chatty Cathy. Oh, wonder who that could be. I don't know. Anywho, Indy and Jeff, thank you for being here on Twitter. Love you. Countdown initiated. I love you all, Twitter. I'ma see y'all's tonight. Tonight's the night we're gonna make it happen. Lord, look what you do to me. Peace out, Twitter. Peace out. Aw, did I do it? Twitter is closed. Fanbase, thank you all for being here. Kimmy, uh, I don't give a France. I think that's what you mean. Matthias, Fat Boy, Knight. There's lots of new faces in this space, I say. I don't give a Francis in here. I know what you're saying, but I'm going to say it that way. And Knight and Fat Boy, y'all are new to me. So hello, Matthias, KZ Flow, Smiles, Miss McQueen, Zola, Yolanda. And you know, I did miss my Summer Rose and Smokin'. I did miss him today, too. He's been MIA, but he's active on Insta. So I do see him. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for the love. And I do appreciate you. I'll see you tonight. Much love, fan base. Much, much, much love. Fan base is closed. Yeah, it is. And then YouTube, Facebook. It's just you and I. It's just us, y'all. See, that's it. That's all for today. I think I have tomorrow's topic ready, Cyber. So I will do that um, right now. I'll set it up that way right now, as per your suggestion. Oh, I will. Because, yeah, why not? I'm learning something new, right? So, yeah, thank you all for being here. Hey, Zola. So, Sherelle, gratitude, gratitude. And David and Cyber and Angel Spills, Luvozio. I just love saying that name. I better hope I'm saying it right. I'm just going phonetically. Luvozio. It sounds so lovely. And there's also another name I like saying too, Agnieszka. Oh, brilliant. Because it just sounds so, it just flows off the tongue so beautifully, you know? Like it just does. Now, I did not say Iapo. I did not say Iapo's name today. Iapo, where are you? And then Marcia, hey, baby. And Empress Ella, I see you. A not, beautiful, I see you. Queen Red Pill, Shea Butter, I see you. The better man, I see you. I did not say Ms. M this morning either. Hmm, didn't say Nancy either, or Beauty Queen Onika or Zenobia. Hmm, they seem to be part of the replay gang. They do. Um, maybe just Neville Goddard and not the hashtag. I'm wondering how that works because people don't generally search hashtags. Hmm, they don't? Hmm. Hmm, I hear you. I will take that into consideration. I definitely will. Yeah, because I just want to find a way of getting it out there. And you guys, I don't even have my stats with me, but I forget how many times something was because every week you get your analytics and it tells you um, the most watched video or the most commented video or how many shares, like how many times a video was shared. It tells you those things. And so I tend to look at them and go, oh, because I'm learning how to read them now. And it's very interesting. It is. I just don't have it with me. It's on my phone. But it is very interesting learning these analytics because I guess I'm beginning to understand what people watch. And it's funny because when you look at the algorithm, if you come across a suggested video, yeah, and you click on it, and it's like, even if you look at the title and you go, man, I probably shouldn't click on that. And the minute you click on it, right, something similar is going to be suggested. Wait, what? Sounds like law to me. It's polarity. Where are you polarized? If you click on that, that's why it's so important that you share it. Because if the video comes up as being shared, that's saying, oh, people are looking for this. And it will start to suggest it more to people, especially people who use those words in their searches. Like you say, they're looking for Neville Goddard information. They're looking for Joseph Murphy. They're looking for Dr. Joe Dispenza. They're looking for that, like how to change their lives. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for the Kybalion, you know. So I just understood something there. What did I understand? When you understand the algorithm, you Apple just popped in here talking about he's late again. I love you, Apple. It is a okay. It is a okay. Better late than never. Part of the replay gang. I'm just simply saying I'm learning a lot about the algorithm because it follows the law. The more you look at a particular type of video, more of those videos will be suggested to you because that's where you're polarized. That's where you're giving your attention to. So, how it's almost like the algorithm can predict your behavior? Oh, I wonder why it can predict your behavior. It is the law of rhythm. Why? You have a habit, and habits make us predictable. The algorithm has been designed after law. You understand? It follows law, it imitates law. The law is the OG, it's the original. Oh, cyber. Okay, so Iapo says he's late again. We just got back home to Central America, so I have to get used to the time change. Oh, you're 2 hours behind. So then you're on my time? Are you 7:08 Iapo? Because Eastern Standard Time would be 9:08. And so that means you and I are in the same time zone? Is that what you're saying? Let me know. Confirm. Cyber says, he said it before and he'll say it again. Let's appreciate that Angela can actually see our comments. It won't be this intimate for long. She'll be responding to super chats only by the end of the year. Oh Lord, now. Cyber is out here calling those things that are not as though they were. Whew. And I will watch them become. This is why the moderators that are in the group, you guys are really important to me because not everybody can afford a super chat, but they still have a question. So, this is why it's important that I have the assistants, right? So that we don't miss people. Yeah, I just look. It, I'm ready, Cyber. I'm ready. See? So we are in the same time zone. Iapo, I'm Mountain Standard Time. 7:09 a.m. Yes, I am Mountain Standard Time. And you're Central Time. Hmm, that's pretty cool. But yeah, this is just what it is, right? So I'm learning to read the algorithm. And before I used to feel overwhelmed by the algorithm. To be honest, I used to feel overwhelmed by it because I always used to say, "Oh, technology is not my strong point." Oh, I would say that all the time. But then I started to understand if I want to grow, I have to look at the details. I have to look just like how when somebody comes for coaching and they talk to me and I listen to them, I'm looking by way of algorithm. What thing do they keep repeating all the time? What's their habit? That is what I do. So I started to look at the algorithm in the same fashion, the same way I would look at the law and how to interpret the algorithm to help someone. And I thought, well, might as well do it here. And so that's what I did. So I'm learning more and more. And I like how they have it, they send it every week. I like how they do that because then it gives you that thing and you're like, oh, and you swipe and you read it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And so I like that. It made it simpler so that now if I see how many shares something had, I go and I look at that video and I say, why? And I look at it and I figure it out. What are people searching for? So that way you can double down on your analytics. So all I'm doing is applying the same law every day to my analytics, right? So cyber, I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna make room. How am I gonna make room? Well, if you want to be a moderator in this space, let me know, and I will add you as a moderator. Because you have to remember, this relationship goes way back, and we know each other, right? I have a certain level of trust for you, and I know you. You know me. And so if you want to be a moderator, let me know. Because Cyber said it's going to be busy up in here, y'alls. So we're going to need all hands on deck for that, right? We are going to need all hands on deck to make that happen, to regulate those comments so that nobody falls through the cracks. Mm. Iapo says, off the subject, but after 50 years of waiting, Ohio, where I'm from originally, will finally be getting a full solar eclipse. And I will be here. And no, I'm not going to run to Babylon to see it. Wow. You guys are getting when? When is that going to happen, Iapo? A full solar eclipse. Wow. I'm pretty sure I've experienced one before. And they tell you, oh, you can't look directly at it. I was like, I put my camera up so it could catch it. But I don't remember how many years ago that was. It is quite fascinating to me at least to watch it, you know, to watch because that's a rhythm, right? That's a rhythm. That eclipse, that solar eclipse is a rhythm. And if you count, you can see once it shows up, you'll be able to count to see when it will show up again. Yeah, it's a rhythm, the eclipse. April 8th of next year. I'll be ready. That's amazing. Yeah, but those are rhythms. Yeah, those are definitely rhythms, and you can measure them. So, anywho, Y'alls, go forth and remember today all things are possible. Size is irrelevant. You make something important by, as the algorithm tells you, by clicking on it. You gave it your attention. That's what you did. And even if that's not a subject you really care about, but you were just curious. Ah, good, bad, or indifferent. The fact that you clicked on it, you've given it your attention. Thus, they will suggest more. See? It is law. All right, y'alls. I love you. I honestly love you. I will see you tonight, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we can hit the ball, y'alls. Love you very much.